Hi, everyone. Welcome to Solicitous. Welcome back to Solicitous, whatever it may be. Uh, well, we're going to do some updates on the kids that are missing. Um, yeah, so if you don't know yet, which I can't believe that you wouldn't know yet because it's gone across places in the world. Yeah, so we have 2 little kids missing locally, and, we're gonna go over some stuff. So I did a video a few days ago. The kids have been missing for 7, 8 days, whatever way you wanna look at it. So it's been since the 2nd of this month, and today is the 9th, and they have not been located yet. So very sad. This is very sad. And the volunteer, uh, not just the volunteer, because they had I think it's called the Nova Scotia Guard, excuse me, that was put in place for the first time there as well. Yeah, so we would have our ground search and rescue, the guard there, uh, and other volunteers as well, that came. So the first thing I want to go over is just I had been putting updates in the comments section of the video that I had completed. Um, I was hoping I was hoping that they would find the kids, and they haven't yet. So I thought, well, I'm not going to keep coming back on because the next story I will do is that they found the kids, but that hasn't happened. So the next story is that RCMP has moved to the next phase of their process in a missing persons. So the updates I have put on here. So to start, so May 6th. So if you had watched my video or have already heard about, what's going on here with Jack and Lilly Sullivan in Pictou County who are missing, you would know possibly up to this point, or you may know, up to this point, what's been going on. So May 6th, 25th update. Jack may be wearing a brown t-shirt and pants as per stepfather, Daniel Martell, including the pull-up that they had already told us about. So at first it was just what he was wearing was a pull-up. They, knew for sure. But then it was added on May 6th that he may be wearing a brown t-shirt and pants. And I don't know if that means the pants are also brown, but that's what was stated. So also on May 6th, update, the mother has left the home on Saturday, which would be the day following her children having gone missing. So the mother had left the home with the youngest child, which is a baby approximately a year and a half old, and that child is Daniel Martell actually is the father of that child, where he is the stepfather of the other children. She left the home with the youngest child. After certain family dynamics between both sides of the family. So there was an argument there between both sides of the family. We'll discuss that further when we look at some articles here. She has stated to news sources RCMP has advised her not to complete any further interviews. So that would be why we have not seen her on the media anymore after she first came out and spoke, and I'm going to play that one as well. So we will now go over to that video. So just as a refresh in case this is new to you. I can't imagine that it isn't. It's all over the news. But you never know. You never know. There's still the odd person out there that that's why we're able to find juries for stories that uh, go worldwide, because there are people out there that are not aware of things that are going on. So I'm going to share first. Remember to do that. And it's just getting to the point now where, you're kind of accepting the loss of some hope, and accepting the fact that, something else may have gone on here with these kids, or if something hasn't gone on and they are lost, went off somewhere and they're lost, that they, at this point obviously wouldn't have survived, which is just so sad. Okay, so we will just go over this. Whoops, can't hear.
And I want them home. I'm just staying as hopeful as possible. I'm just staying as hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them. And I want them home. What happened was we woke up, I heard them playing in the next room beside us, and I was drifting in and out of sleep. And they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them. And they happen to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing.
Now, I will say, I've been listening to some videos that people are doing on this on YouTube, as I am, but more in a sleuth way. And the way her dialect, the way that she's using some of her words is being picked apart terribly. And I always reserve that small space that, of course, we know terrible things can happen, that parents have done things, but until there's something concrete to say that, so I'm not jumping to that conclusion. For me, it's more important for this information to go out, because if these children were abducted, and there are times, and I know, people may say, well, come on, who would be out in that rural area and looking to abduct a kid, a child, or children? Sometimes there is that crime of opportunity, that just everything comes together at once perfectly. And I hate to use the word perfectly, because that sounds positive, but not in a positive way. That happens. We had an incident where that happened here a few years ago, where we had a local young lady who, that's exactly what happened. It was that crime of opportunity. She had walked a short distance from downtown up to a store to wait for her partner to come pick her up. And the police had even part way as she was walking up the street, and the police were driving slowly because it was at a local bar that had just, people were getting out, and then they kind of come around to make sure that there's not going to be any fighting outside, which was a common thing here back in the day. Not much of that goes on anymore, actually, since this incident took place. Those things kind of simmered down, not that they don't still happen, but and So they were driving pretty slowly, and this is all on video, captured on video camera outside in this downtown area where you could see her, coming out of this bar. She's on the sidewalk for a little bit talking to friends. Then they part ways. She walks up the sidewalk heading towards this store, short distance. The police car is driving pretty much beside her, side by side as they're going up the road, and they're driving slow, as I said, to keep an eye on things going on in that area. And then they're a little bit ahead of her, and they get to a point where they can turn down a street this way, and she continues on this way. And I mean, it's a very short distance now that she has to walk. And in that small window right there, a crime of opportunity took place where this individual happened to be there. And where exactly he was parked, or if he drove by, or there's across the street, there's kind of an open area. There's some electrical stuff there. He was most likely parked in there. But again, it just is one of those things where everything came together and it happened. But people had a hard time believing that around here. Like, they're, come on now, in that small time frame, she went missing, and people were coming up with all kinds of theories that, her partner did it. But no, the individual was caught, tried, and lots of evidence, and he is back in prison because he had just been released from prison, and for an unaliving also that he had committed as a teenager. So, crime of opportunity. So just keep those things in mind. We need to watch our words. I understand reserving that small space for the what if, it's probably better to discuss those things privately with, within your circle, not online and saying terrible things and being focused with coming up with, those types of theories that these guys did something to these children, because it very well may not be. Anyways, so back to Malehya. Her words are being picked apart. I'm reading this, I'm seeing the videos, and as she spoke back there, I'll put it back a little bit.
To sleep, and they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go outside on their own.
Right there. They're not the type of kids we tell them not to go outside on their own. So right there, I have to say, I do that sometimes. I have one thought in my head and I'm going to say something, and then that other thought pops in my head, and I'll kind of throw two sentences together. I didn't notice how bad I did it, to be honest with you, until I started doing videos. And I would go back to check my videos to make sure the sound was okay. I don't really do editing, but there was one video that I went through, and I was putting up media like this, and I forgot to share it. So I realized when I went through the whole video that right in the middle of it, nobody could. I'm nodding my head and reacting to what's being said in this news article, and my viewers wouldn't have heard it, so I had to edit that out, something like that. But as I'm viewing this and listening to myself, I realized that I've done what she's doing, that I'm throwing two thoughts into one sentence there. So, and under her circumstances, and your children are missing, and your mind is just a mess, obviously, I could see that things like that would become worse, for a person. So again, don't know if that's why she's doing that, but I think it's important to look outside the box and not just jump to conclusions. Again, I understand having those thoughts. It's a little red flag, but, you know, we just have to watch our words and how aggressive we're being with those thoughts. Okay, so back to this.
We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them. And they happen to just get out that sliding door and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet. And we get up and I tell him, my partner, Daniel.
And there as well, she said, I tell him instead of saying I asked him. So, I mean, sometimes it's just an individual's dialect. So, hard to say.
I tell him, do you hear the kids? And he says, no. And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone.
My
They'll
gosh,
talk
they're
your
so
ear off.
cute. That picture of him, I mean, they're both precious, but
They will speak to
that
anyone
picture
in a
of him
store.
there, it's just so
Everyone.
sad.
They're just extremely sweet kids. I appreciate the huge search effort going on right now. But we've been pushing for an Amber Alert, which hasn't been, that they could possibly be abducted.
Oh, the abduction. And they have been saying at the very beginning that, you know, they feel they could be abducted. And it still bothers me that there wasn't an Amber Alert put out immediately, which is why I did my very first video, because I just feel like all avenues should be taken unless proven, excuse me, otherwise. And I mean, the detectives in the interview that was done a couple of days ago when they said that they're, excuse me, scaling back the search, he said that himself. And I thought, but you didn't, because you didn't put out an Amber Alert immediately. And, you know, anyways, I'm just not happy with how that process works. And if it ends up that these children were abducted, I sure hope they learn, understand that that process has to be changed.
Which it is a possibility that they could have been. But just an alert to let everyone know that they are missing. We had people text me saying that they weren't aware someone else let them know that they were missing, and it would just be nice if everyone could be alerted. We thought maybe that we found tracks.
And there, I feel like she's repeating what has been said to her by RCMP, because they were asking for an Amber Alert and you know, stating that they felt they could be abducted. And I feel like she's repeating what she was told her. That's why she's saying, you know, we asked for an Amber Alert. Let me go back and see exactly what she said. I think the poor girl's so confused. It's a
Maybe
sin.
we found tracks, but it's still uncertain. It's been raining and they're probably soaking. That we found tracks, and it would just be nice if everyone could be that they were missing, and it would just be nice that they weren't aware someone else that they are missing, but they could have been, but possibly be abducted. Amber Alert, which hasn't been, but we've been pushing for an Amber Alert, which hasn't been issued.
Okay, so she's expressing what they wanted, saying that they feel they could be abducted. So, which tells me they both don't feel that either one of them had anything to do with, you know, the fact that the kids are gone, that they harmed the children, you know, they're not thinking you harmed the children, you harmed the children. So we pushed for an Amber Alert.
Not just that they could possibly be abducted, which it is a possibility.
So I feel there she's repeating what she's being told, because that's the RCMP's process that they, you know, yeah, well, it's frustrating.
that they could have been. But just an alert to let everyone know that they are missing. We had people text me saying that they weren't aware, someone else let them know that they were missing, and it would just be nice if everyone could be alerted. We thought maybe that we found tracks, but it's still uncertain. It's been raining and they're probably soaking wet, but with the sun today, I'm hopeful that they are feeling warm. We're all filled with pain and sorrow because we just want them found. We want them home. Everyone loves them. They are definitely verbal, and they do have.
So, and there again, people are saying, why is she so focused on making it known that they're verbal and they will speak to people? And is she coming up with an alibi that, somebody took them because they're so friendly? Well, on Facebook, where the gossip is crazy, and let me tell you, it is horrific around here. I don't even go. It's very rare do I go on there. Very rare. But it was stated on there, and I'm quoting, supposedly by a relative, I believe grandmother or aunt or both, possibly. It was stated by somebody that the children are nonverbal, and she wants that known, that that's not so, that they do speak. Now, if that information went Canada-wide, other countries wide, worldwide, and these children were abducted, that could cause interference, because if somebody saw one of these children and here they are speaking and making all kinds of verbal noise, somebody would think, well, no, that's not Lily or that's not Jack, because they're nonverbal. So I completely understand her wanting that information out there, and that she became overly focused on it, obviously, because she mentions it again, and it's a shame that she had to feel that was her focus, because somebody had put that information out there. That would be important to me. If both my children went missing and I saw on Facebook, that, oh, both the kids are nonverbal, yeah, I would want that corrected, to not cause any interference in the fact that if they're abducted, that now people will have that assumption in their heads.
Possible autism, but it's not extreme autism. It's just they have
I think a lot of people use that term, autistic, very loosely, that and ADHD. So it doesn't sound like they are, that they have been diagnosed. She didn't say they were diagnosed, a couple of years ago or whatever the case may be. But I think there might be a little bit of parent self-diagnosing going on there.
issues.
Just seems like they might have had some intellectual difficulties, which sometimes with kids when they're young, that's so. And then as they grow up, they catch up and sometimes end up being extremely intelligent. So, yeah.
With school, and they don't catch up with the other kids. I just want to remain hopeful. But there's always, in a mother's mind, you're always thinking the worst. Last night was one of the worst nights because I didn't have them in their beds. And I don't want to go through that another night without them.
Oh, so sad. Okay, so I will read this one. Okay, so Nova Scotia police scaled back search for 2 children say little chance they are alive. Lansdowne Station. Police have scaled back a search for 2 children reported missing from their home in northeastern Nova Scotia, saying Wednesday there's little chance they could have survived after 6 days in the densely wooded area. And I do believe that that is one of the reasons why people jump to other theories, and I did it myself. I started trying to think of other ways that they could still be alive. So, if they were kidnapped by a family member, they'd still be alive. That is a little tiny bit of hope that these children are still alive, and so I do understand people coming up with certain theories because you want these children to still be alive. Um, yeah, and I had read where people are saying, maybe there was domestic violence going on, and she got somebody to come get them out of there, and then she followed because she did leave on Saturday and removed him, excuse me, from her Facebook. So, that, but I mean, I can't imagine that somebody would allow everything to go on, those efforts to continue to look for those children if that was the case. I mean, once you're out, I'm pretty sure she would say, this is what's going on. But again, it's that little tiny piece of hope. Like people are just trying to figure out a way for these children to still be alive. Nobody wants to imagine that they're out in the woods and that they suffered in that way because that's terrible. So RCMP Staff Sergeant Curtis McKinnon said most researchers would finish their shifts at the end of the day, and they did. And the effort to find the children would be reduced to specific areas, including places that had already been looked at. 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan were reported missing as of 10 a.m. Friday in rural Pictou County, about 140 kilometers northwest Halifax. If we thought they were alive right now, we'd still be out there. And that's heartbreaking. And that was a hard day for most people in the community who've been following this and hoping and praying that these kids would be found alive. So that was a pretty tough day for the community. Up to 140 trained researchers at a time. It's funny, every article you read says different. I read one that said 160. The number always seems to change. Up to 140 trained searchers at a time had been looking for the children with the help of police dogs and heat-seeking drones. And I guess those heat-seeking drones, they do what they're supposed to do. And they do typically pick up the heat. So, yeah, covering 4 square kilometers of heavily wooded rural terrain. Police say there have been no reported sightings of the 2 children. Now, that is so strange that would be stated, because when this first started, one of the first articles that had come out stated that they were last seen around 10 a.m. on the road that they live on. So I'm not sure what's going on there. That's what I'm finding a lot with this. Like, you read one article and it says something, you read another article and it says something, and I know, the media is trying to get that information out there quick, I guess, and things get mixed up. Staff Sergeant Robert McCammon, acting officer in charge of major crimes with the RCMP Nova Scotia, told reporters the criminal investigators have been involved in the case since Saturday. So, folks, if there is anything nefarious going on here, there are criminal investigators involved, and he spoke in the media the day that they announced that they were pretty much calling off the search. When it comes to missing person, we will automatically consider what evidence is pointing us toward, whether it is suspicious in nature. We're looking, this is all in quotes, we're working closely with the family and will pursue every avenue. But again, they didn't, because they didn't put the Amber Alert out and, they went in the direction that they could be in the woods, and they're going in a direction, obviously, that something nefarious could have taken place, but they didn't. They're completely ruling out abduction by the looks of, obviously, or an Amber Alert would have been put out. The children's stepfather, Daniel Martell, said on the weekend he believed the siblings slipped out the back door of the family home in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia, as he and the children's mother were still in bed with their 16-month-old baby. On Wednesday, Martell said, they said Wednesday twice. On Wednesday, Martell said he gave a 4-hour interview with two officers with the major crimes unit. So they are, working in that area too, just in case, providing detail step by step, minute by minute through this whole thing. The 33-year-old said he drew, and I want people to listen very closely to what he's saying. He is giving a lot of information. Now, I highly doubt he's going out in the media and telling a bunch of lies. Maybe he is, but I mean, while he's talking to the media, he's surrounded by police, and they're going to hear everything he's saying. So let's listen very closely to what he's saying. He's the one giving the most information that can be given about the children. The 33-year-old said he drew maps of the areas around the house where he thought, and I mean, that'd be the outside of the house, not in the house, around the house where he thought the children might have gone. So there would be places that he would have, or they would have taken the kids out there, and there are lakes out there. And there is one that's not too far from their home. It could be walking distance if a person wanted to. And so if he's taken the kids fishing there, or, if he's had them out hunting, you never know. Any of those spots, the spots where the cabins are, all those spots, he's drawn maps. And I will tell you, that's not the only reason why they're doing that, the maps thing. So just keep that in mind. That's part of the criminal part of it as well. Not only the part of it missing children part of it. So I've been 100% cooperating. I gave them my phone. I offered them drug tests. I offered them lie detector tests. I offered them everything, he said. And I guess they are, as from what he says, and I don't know if I have that video here. We're going to play some videos of him as well. There is a video there on media where he's stating that they told him they don't have that on hand immediately, and that has to come from somewhere else, and that it will be coming. And again, I'm not so sure that that's not that it's not on hand immediately. I don't know if that's so much the fact, or that they're saying that, but that they're actually probably looking for a specific type of individual to complete this test with the best tools and with one of the best people to sit, who's very well trained and not only can pick up on what is going on the test itself, but interacting with him. I'm assuming that they're wanting the best, and they're doing the best to get the best. Sorry. So he said the children were last. Now this is important because this has been a big one. And he also said this here is just, there's no video with this, but I actually seen this on video media, and where he stated this. So, and it's stated in here as well. Now listen, because this is what I'm saying. He's telling us a lot of information, and I think it's important to listen to it. He said the children were last at school on Tuesday, April 29th. So they went to school on Monday and Tuesday, adding that there was no school on the 30th. So it was a in-service day, teacher day, whatever it was. So there was no school April 30th, Wednesday. Martell said the children were both at home on Thursday and Friday because Lily had a little bit of a cough. Now, so that's what he's saying. Now, he actually doesn't say Monday, so I'll correct that because I said Monday and Tuesday. But my understanding is that they were in school on Monday as well. But nobody, everybody was going on about Tuesday, and so they weren't in school all week except Monday. And so he clarified and stated they were in school on Tuesday. It's Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And Wednesday was a teacher day or in-service day. Okay. And then he said the children were both at home on Thursday and Friday because Lily had a little bit of a cough. And why they kept Jack home too, who knows? Maybe the little fella won't, they're not comfortable sending him at 4 years old without her. He's not comfortable. I don't know what dynamics are going on there, but it's another thing that people are kind of picking at. Asked during the news conference if he believed there was criminal activity involved in the children's disappearance, Mick Cameron, it's hard to say, said he wouldn't comment on details of the investigation. We're going to continue on, and we will get to a point where we have any decisions that can be made public. We'll let you know at that time. And of course, we all know that RCMP are very closed-lipped. Close-lipped, however you say that, and keep things close to the vest, as they should. Based on the experts and reviews of the facts, the inclement weather, the time frames of their age, the likelihood they're alive right now is very low, he said. The search initially concentrated on the area near Gairloch Rd, where the children lived. The Mounties issued 2 vulnerable missing persons alert across Pictou County. It's funny they say 2 because I took a picture of those when they sent them out. They sent them out back to back. And I will say, I've noticed this before when, there's something that had happened here before. I find the RCMP will do things so that then can say in here, that they did it. So the RCMP say they issued 2 vulnerable person missing alerts, and to other sellers, okay, well, they sent 2 out. It must have been the first day and the second day. Well, it wasn't. There was none sent out the first day. Issued, like, that goes out to the public on the phone. They were both sent out back to back, and I have the time actually on. I snapped the picture and it shows the time. It was like, I think it was 2 minutes apart. So, yeah, they sent 2 out, but they were sent out back to back on the same day. So, I don't like when they do that. And they also put the date in it. They backdate it to May 1st. And they did that one other time as well with something that was going on. So I don't know what's going on there with them and why they do that. But, anyways, I'm telling you the truth. uh, of when those 2 were put out back to back, and it was not May 1st. They had May 1st. When you read it, it says May 1st. It was May 2nd that they were reported missing. Okay, so across Pictou County as the search began. But they did not issue an Amber Alert because those are reserved for abductions. So they're completely ruling that out, not putting an Amber Alert out. So I sure hope. I mean, I shouldn't say I hope they weren't. For their sake, if those children were abducted, uh, like I said, this needs to change. On May 3rd, the RCMP broadcast an intrusive alert to residents of Antigonish, Colchester, and Pictou County. And yes, and that was the day that they sent 2 alerts out back to back. The search, the other one, they might be talking about putting it on the radio, like a media thing. I don't know. Because they don't put the date there, but I don't know. I can tell you, I had no idea until I got the alert on my phone. So the search was included. The search has included volunteer ground search and rescue teams from across Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, as well as specially trained civilian pilots, the Joint Rescue Coordination Center in Halifax, the Air Services Wing of Provincial National Resources Department, Nova Scotia Public Safety, and the Canada Heavy Urban Search and Rescue Task Force. McKinnon said that to date, cadaver dogs have not been a part of the search effort, but involving dogs that can identify human remains could be the next step. So sad. And that was published May 7th. Okay. And I just wanted to show you a picture of, this is so sad. Just breaks my heart. Make it bigger. Sorry for the dead air, guys. Started playing on me. I just wanted to show you the picture. There we go. I got to get it over quick before they start playing the picture or the video again. Playing the picture. That's what I'm saying. You see, I get my words a little mixed up. So I just look at them. It's so sad. So sad because they don't want to go home without finding those kids. And every single one of them just look defeated. That's what I see. And that's so sad. And I'm so thankful to them. My husband and I donate every year. They have a fishing derby. We used to actually go on the water at the lake where they have the fishing derby because we were both love fishing and would go out in the canoe. But I can't do that anymore. And he doesn't do it anymore because I guess he doesn't want to do it without me. But we still go down every year and we'll buy tickets because there's all kinds of raffles and 50/50s and all kinds of tickets you can buy. And there's food you can purchase. So we still go down there and, we spend a little bit of money each on everything. And that's your donation. So we do that every year. I encourage everybody to. Very important. All right. So we'll take that one down. We're done with that. And now we're going to get on to Daniel. Yeah. Okay, so this is Daniel, and we are going to listen to him. I don't know if you guys can notice. I'll know when I go do the playback to make sure the video is okay to put out. That I have to get up every half hour and stretch and kind of walk around, and I put it on pause and then I come back. So if you notice anything like that, that's all it is. I hope it turns out okay. I did a couple of videos where I was not recording. They were lives with other people, and I noticed my back was because I have a pretty severe back condition, and I noticed I was in a great amount of pain. It was increasing my pain, so I'm just trying to figure out how to do things and be able to do this plus keep my pain in a stable place. So I thought, well, if I stick to recordings and pause every so often and get up and walk around, make sure I have a certain cushion I have to use that I sit on for my back for compression. Anyway, so just if you do notice anything, that's why. Okay, so let's listen to Daniel. Daniel Martell, the stepfather of the missing kids, pleads for their safe return.
We were searching. We covered everywhere possible. Even in the first day we did. Even with me running through the woods, I was ahead of the helicopters and ahead of the drones and stuff like that. Screaming as loud as I can, just until my throat hurt. Running through water that was up to my waist. And as soon as I got back, I wasn't allowed back in the woods until a man dressed in a military outfit said I could go back into the woods.
4 days into the search for his missing stepkids, Lilly and Jack Sullivan, Daniel Martell is pleading with the public to keep their eyes peeled. But he has begun to lose hope they are anywhere in the vicinity.
They hate being wet and cold, so they immediately would have came right back into the house. The only two prints are right beside the house facing the road, and then that's it.
Martell wants the search to be extended to include provincial borders in case the children were abducted, a reality he says is becoming more and more likely.
Post any officers they can get at the New Brunswick border, PI border.
Okay, I want to pause there because that's, again, another thing I'm hearing people say. Why is he so focused on the New Brunswick border? Why New Brunswick? Why? So the two borders that we are, there's Quebec as well, but you'd have to get through New Brunswick to get to Quebec. The two borders to us are New Brunswick and PEI. You can get to PEI over what we have now. We've had for quite some time. It's called the Confederation Bridge, and there's also a ferry that will take you over, and I think it's like a half hour, maybe a little bit more. And that's right here in our county. You can go to the ferry and cross over to the province of PEI. New Brunswick is another province. So provinces would be like states in other countries. Some countries call them provinces, some countries call them states. Yeah, so just so you understand, it's not another county within Nova Scotia. These are two different provinces. So he says both borders. Now listen, because what's being said is that he said the New Brunswick border. And why is he so focused on the New Brunswick border? Well, he says both. He says both borders. And I think there is another video where he did just say New Brunswick in that video, but he is saying both in this video. And I'm sure his thinking with the New Brunswick to push that maybe a little more than PEI is because the New Brunswick border leads into the US. So I guess his thinking is that if the kids were kidnapped, that they're going to get further away from here, not just Nova Scotia, but Canada itself, if they were taken into the US. But he does state PEI as well.
And PEI border, and get them at every airport possible.
Mm-hmm.
Martell confirmed that
There you go, in every airport possible, not just the New Brunswick airport. He's talking about everything.
when the 2 children went missing from the home behind me, Lily was wearing a pink
And that's the thing about the Amber Alert not being put out, because these are the things that are hindered because of no Amber Alert being put out. Yeah.
pink shirt and pink rain boots. She was also carrying a white backpack with strawberries on it. Martell says although he didn't see Jack that morning, he is believed to be wearing a brown shirt, brown pants with a pull-up diaper on underneath, and blue rain boots with dinosaurs on them. He also refuted the claim that the 2 children are nonverbal, saying while they are on the autism spectrum, they are quite trusting and say hi to everyone. According to Martell, his side of the family are currently the only ones at
And again, they're making sure that that is known so there's no interference. If they were abducted and someone sees the children, they do speak. So if you see somebody that looks like Lily or you see somebody that looks like Jack and they're verbalizing anything, whether it can be made out or not, report it, because they do speak. Maybe their words can't be made out as well as other children, but they are verbal.
Ground Zero after Lilly and Jack's mother left the county Saturday. But still, he remains, begging anyone with answers to come forward and bring his children home safe.
Anybody who has any information, or you think you've seen something or hear something, or any messages from friends about hearing something, just contact your local police services. Anything, guys, anything.
Ella MacDonald, Global News, Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia.
Okay, so I just want to look through this article to see if there's anything else in here that I want you guys to know. So, search for missing Nova Scotia kids continues as stepfather seeks expanded expanded effort. The massive search for 2 children continues for the 5th day in rural Nova Scotia, Pictou County. Lilly and Jack Sullivan, age 6 and 4, were reported missing May 2nd, around 10 a.m. from their home. Police are pursuing all investigation avenues. Well, again, I don't believe that's true. Where was the Amber Alert and the part of the investigation that would treat this like it could be an abduction? Unless they are doing that and they're being very quiet about it. But, I mean, if they were thinking that way, I would think an Amber Alert would have been put out. There are a variety of teams involved who are applying the tools and the skills and the expertise that are needed to bring Lily and Jack home, said RCMP spokesperson Corporal Charlie McCann. That's an easy one. I thought it was going to be the other fella. Oh, Daniel Martell said he was calling for the search area to be expanded to include provincial borders. So you see provincial borders, not just New Brunswick, and airports, in case the children were abducted, and good for him for doing that. Post any officers they can get at the New Brunswick border and PEI and get them out at every airport possible, he said. And you just heard him in the video say it as well. Okay. RCMP said there is no evidence to suggest the kids were abducted. Well, is there always evidence? And I, in my second video about this topic, stated about what the criteria is, and I mean, to me, it's ridiculous. So you had to have seen a child. A witness has to have stated that they saw a child being abducted. They can tell you what the car, or they can tell you what the car is, the color of the car, the license plate. Just come on. Martell told Global News that his side of the family are the only ones at the search site after Lilly and Jack's mother left the county on Saturday. Now, please listen to what he's saying. Not that this is too important. I mean, I couldn't do that. Everybody's different. I don't know what's going on there, that would take place. There was a fight, and I think he says it here. But I mean, he's spilling the beans on everything, spilling the tea, spilling the beans. He's spilling it all. So listen to what he's saying. Instead of putting that info out there, that's not correct. Because there's people saying, no, she didn't. She didn't leave. Yes, she did. She left. And like I said, I don't know why. To me, it's kind of irrelevant. Because again, you have reserved that small space in the back of your mind that there possibly could be something else going on here. We know those things happen. We've seen it in the news. Bad things can happen. So, if something like that did happen, which I, haven't heard of anything like that yet. That's for the police to know and for them to know only and investigate that. Then maybe it is strange that she left in that case. Maybe it does mean something. Maybe, I guess it's a little red flag, right? Anyways, back to this. Martell told Global News that his side of the family are the only ones at the search site after Lilly and Jack's mother left the county on Saturday, and she left with the baby. When reached by phone, the children's mother, Malehya Brooks Murray, said she had been advised by the RCMP not to speak with the media further. And again, there's all kinds of rumors going around, so listen to what she's saying right here. Her words written down by media. So RCMP's advised her not to speak with media any further. Her mother, Cindy Murray, also spoke to Global News and said the family is hoping for a positive outcome. So now just see right there. So see how, so Cindy Murray also spoke to Global News and said the family was hoping for a positive outcome. To me, that should say is. So, I'm just saying people use different words, have a different dialect. We're just hoping, and this is in quotes, we're just hoping and praying for the best. That's it. For our babies to come home, Murray said in a brief phone interview with the Canadian press. Lily is described as having shoulder-length light brown hair with bangs. She might be wearing a pink sweater, pink pants, and pink boots. Martell said she was also carrying a white backpack with strawberries on it. Jack has short, blonde hair and was wearing blue dinosaur boots. Martell said He had not seen Jack on Friday morning, but believed he was wearing a brown shirt and pants with a pull-up diaper underneath. And that's where that update came from, where it started out saying just like that. The description was he had a pull-up on. And this update, this is where that came from, that I had in my comments. Okay, so we're done with that. Okay. I know I do that a lot. Sorry, guys. There's things I'm going to try to work on. Things I notice about myself when I'm looking back at the video to check and make sure it's okay to put out. Things like that I notice. And I'm like, why am I doing that? It's probably a nervous thing until I get used to this. Okay, so there are a few things down here I want to read. If you guys are interested in, actually, I might do a video on that. My next video, how drones are being used to look for missing children. I think that'd be interesting because I guess they're quite accurate. And there's the map of the area. Okay, so Daniel Martell, the stepfather of the children. And again, let's listen to what he's saying. This is from his mouth. The stepfather. Daniel Martell, the stepfather of the children, has said the last time he saw the children was Friday morning when he and their mother were in their bedroom with their baby. The 33, he's 33. I thought he was 30, so there's his age. And I'm assuming she might be around the same age or in her late 20s. The 33-year-old man said Lilly came into the bedroom several times. So he saw Lilly Friday morning. Daniel Martell, the stepfather of the children, has said the last time he saw the children, well, it's not the children, it's Lilly, one of the children, was Friday morning. So that's Friday morning, not Thursday, when he and their mother were in the bedroom with the baby. He said Lilly came into the bedroom several times and he could hear Jack in the kitchen. The children must have opened the sliding door, and this is him saying this, which is almost silent. That I don't understand, because any sliding door I've ever dealt with was not silent. So the assumption was they went out the sliding door and left. The home borders are heavily wooded. Martell said investigators with the RCMP Major Crimes Unit spoke with him a few days ago and spoke with members of his family on Monday. Martell has said he believes the children were abducted. Well, let's listen to what he says here.
I'm out here still searching, still fighting to try to find them. That's all I can do.
The message is still, if anyone knows anything.
If anybody knows anything, just come forward as soon as possible. 2 little kids are still out there. I want to find them. That's really all I can do. Still searching every day. I'm waiting for information. I have to let them do a lot of their stuff with the aircrafts and everything else, and dogs.
Yeah,
and
so we already listened to
There's
that.
a lot of stuff that needs to.
Okay. Martell said that after the disappearance, the children's mother left. So there, he's saying it again. the area to be with her family in another part of the province and has blocked him on social media. So now that's added into it. I don't think that said that the last time. And there's the kids, guys. Take a good look. My God, they're so cute. It's so heartbreaking. I just hate it. Hate it. There they are. Oh, where'd they go? She has very distinctive eyes. He's got, his hair is a little reddish there, but in his picture where he's a bit older, his hair is a little more blonde. Maybe when it grows out, you can see a little bit more red in it. He said there was an argument. So this is continuing on. So Malehya left the home. Now, this is what he's saying, so please listen. He said there was an argument between the two families out in the yard of the home that day, and that would have been Saturday, the day after the children were reported missing. My mother had to kick some people off the property because they were saying I did it. I had something to do with it, and I'm the only one here fighting for them, which is sad, he said. The children's mother, Malehya Brooks Murray, spoke to CTV News on Saturday, saying that she was trying to stay hopeful, and we already listened to that, so we're not going to go over that again. Martell has said Jack is in pre-primary and Lily is in primary. He said they were not in school on Friday because Lily had a cough, and they were also homesick from school on Thursday. And then, as we read in the other article, there was no school on Wednesday, but he said they were in school on Tuesday. So now, unless he made a mistake and he meant to say they were in school on Monday and they weren't in school as well as Tuesday. But to me, I actually seen him in a video, but I could not find it today. There's so many videos now where he actually says they were in school Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday was a off day, and Thursday, Friday, they were homesick. And Fridays when they went missing. He said Brooks Murray is a stay-at-home mom, and he works at the local sawmill, but work has been slowed down there in recent weeks, and he was not at work on Friday. And then other people are talking about how many jobs he has. I don't know why that matters, but he probably does have some other odd jobs that he does to make up for survival. Okay. And to me, I have to be honest, when I watch him, I feel he truly does look, he's behaving truly upset. He's upset, and he wants this to be considered an abduction. And he's said it over and over and over. He's said he'll do the lie detector test. I'm assuming he's hoping because they'll move on to the next stage of things. But a lot of time has passed. So you can see all the kids' toys here in the front lawn. And that's another thing. I guess some neighbor come out and said that he or she, it's anonymous. It's this Facebook craziness going on, that he didn't even know kids were living there. Well, how could you not know kids are living there? Do you think the adults are out there in the front yard playing with all the toys that are there? Come on now. And was calling it a crack house because there was there's already a bunch of vehicles in the yard. They all look like they're the same kind of vehicle. Because there's 4 adults living there, remember? Because the mom and the brother live there as well. And apparently there was a lot of vehicles this day. But I mean, if you already have the vehicles of the people that are living in the home and then a bunch of vehicles, if somebody if there was some people that came to visit for a birthday party or whatever the case may be, who knows why they were there. Yeah, it might look like this is where the rumors that there was a big party going on there. I don't know. I'm not jumping to those conclusions, and I'm not gonna believe that anybody would think that kids, yeah, as a neighbor, I never knew kids lived there. Now, come on. I don't think those toys were just put out there recently. Anyways, those are my thoughts on that. That stuff bugs me. Stepfather of missing Pictou children calls on public for help. The stepfather of the 2 children who are missing in rural area of Pictou County, Nova Scotia, said Sunday he wants authorities to monitor. Okay, so that's just saying the same things. There's one thing here where he says, please maintain the activity searching for the children. Daniel Martell has been in a relationship with the mother. He said that I don't want to repeat what we already know. Okay, so that, continue reading. When we noticed the children were gone, I mean, Martell said he wishes the response by the authorities had been a lot faster and that more resources had been made available. Okay, so again, listen to what he's saying. He is hoping that members of the public can help with the investigation. If anybody out there has anything, come forward now. Sad. I don't know. Like, it sounds like he's just begging for them to listen to what he's saying. And the mother, Malehya, I think if she's being told something to follow a certain way by the RCMP because they're focusing in on him and that property and that it's not an abduction, there's a divided line being created there, which is part of an investigation as well. I know that because if something nefarious did go on, they have to create that divided line to try to get information from them. But I just wish they would focus on the fact somewhat that it could be an abduction. Oh, there's no cellular service, which adds to all the issues and the safety issues that we have. So there's no cellular service. Don't know why I'm having a hard time saying that right now. I've said it many times. Oh, I know why, because I usually say cell, not cellular. So there's no cell service in the area. So there was a lot of chit chat about that as well. So there you go. Clarify that up. I think that's it for that. Yeah. That's all I want to pull out of that. Okay, so this is the last one. That is it. I hope you listen very carefully to what's being said by him and the mom and the police as well, because they are paying attention to other things as well, except an abduction, a possible abduction. Although the stepfather keeps saying over and over and over, and the mother voiced the concern in the beginning as well, until she was told by RCMP not to say anything further. So come up with your own thoughts. Please share the video. Please share and please like. Subscribe if you enjoy my material. That is up to you. But if you don't want to subscribe, that is fine. But if you share and like, it will help this information to go out there and reach other people. And if these children were abducted, hopefully it will help them to be found. I mean, that's all I can say. it bothers me that that was ruled completely out. My gut just tells me that's not right to do that. And not saying that I don't trust our RCMP. I do think as humans we all make mistakes. And sometimes when we're following processes, which I'm used to with my career and my work, we miss things. And if those children are abducted, I don't want that to be missed. I want them to be found. Yeah. And we did have another thing that had happened here, and actually it either has finished going through the courts or possibly still going through the courts, where the family members took it to court due to the RCMP's process that was used. That was wrong. And they did have to take a look at the process in that situation. And yeah. So it's not that that can't happen and that mistakes can't be made. We're all humans, and following processes sometimes to a T is not always the right thing to do, you know, or it has to be changed. So if it is the case that they were abducted, fingers crossed, or pray, whatever you believe in, that these children will be found if they were abducted. But let's not rule it out. Okay, so please like, please share. Thank you for listening. Everyone as you can tell, I'm just not as usually bubbly as I am. Usually am, because I thought these children, I thought they would be found. I really did. So it leaves you a little bummed out. And that's just how it is. And it's not just me, it's all of Pictou County. Yeah. So lots of love, everyone. Stay safe. Keep your children safe. Watch after your children. I will say that. There's definitely some, they are guilty of some things there. You know, overlooking some safety with their children, some maybe some bad parenting there for sure. Which is, you know, I think when she's speaking, she's kind of CYA in it, if you know what I'm saying. And that can come off too as though she's trying to hide something else, but it's probably guilt from knowing that we should have gotten up. We should have had the kids fed. We should have had his pamper changed. You know, they should have had their teeth brushed. They should have been checked to see, you know, how sick are they still? Do they need medicine, Tylenol? Do they have a temperature? How's their cough? So I'm sure there's guilt there for sure. There's which honestly should be felt. So yeah. All right, that's all I have to say on that today. No more judgment other than that, and that's pretty obvious. So to most of us. Lots of love, guys. Keep safe. Thank you. We'll do the outro. And this will make you smile.